What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $3,247 in the first hour of trading today. Today's one of those days where it felt like everything I touched was gold. I don't think I had a red trade today. I can't remember offhand, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. I think everything I touched was green. It's been a while since I've had one of those days, honestly. So let's get right into it. So my first trade was UONE. This one, it hit my low float scanner. This is like the first stock that hit my scanner. I immediately pull it up and I look and I see on the daily chart that it can move pretty big. Has resistance just over $4. And I switch it over to market order and I buy 2,000 shares. Well, and then after I'm in it, I realize, oh my gosh, I just bought a stock that was up 33% already. I mean, I literally bought at 379 right here. And the low of the day was 275, up a buck already, and I just bought it. I do not normally like to do that. On stocks that have already moved that much, I usually have to wait for a pullback and then a candle over candle. So this was a mistake by me. Luckily, I did not get burned on it. It got closer to 4. More people did end up getting into it. After I entered in and I realized how high it already had moved, there was a big bidder, and you'll see it here on the L2 when I roll the clip. There was a big bidder at 260. It was like 20,000 shares, and I told myself, or 360, sorry. I told myself that if 360 looks like it's going to fall, I'm going to stop out. I got to take my lumps on that one. That would have been basically a 20-cent loss, $400 on 2,000 shares. Lucky enough for me, it pops up to $4. I try to sell at $4, but it just didn't work out. It dropped the bid on me, and I got filled basically for a +2, which, you know what, I'm okay with because my entry was absolutely terrible. I should not have taken this trade. I was just lucky not to get burned. As you can see, it ended up selling off pretty hard. So got lucky on this one, and I came away with a very small profit, but it could have been a very big loss.
And you've got 30,000 share seller, 50, 19,000.
I'm in UONE 380.
MCD, McDonald's, Michael Charlie Delta, popping to a high of $1.
I'm only going to give it 20 cents here.
Following that Dow Jones report that the company is reducing its corporate structure.
But kind of like CLW.
Announcing layoffs. Michael Charlie Delta now up $1.56 at 163.94.
Because I'm seeing these big
I'm out 380 somehow instead of $4. I'm not sure how that works. All right, so my next trade was OPHT. This one was more of what I was talking about with UONE. You know, a lot of times if a stock has already moved up, you've got to wait for the pullback, and then I like to play the candle over candle right here. So nice move up. Here's your pop. Here's your pullback candles, which coincide with a test of the VWAP, a bounce off the VWAP. So two things going for it right here. And then, you know, we're inside this 1 minute candle. What I like to do is play the break of the previous 1 minute pullback candle. That gives us candle over candle. And then most of the time, you know, high probability that it'll give you some sort of spike up. Two things there of why I thought it would get a nice move up. First, we're bouncing off the VWAP like a trampoline, wing, and then candle over candle after the pullback. So pop, pullback, candle over candle, which led to a nice little move up. And you can kind of see it here, right? Here's the pop, here's a pullback, candle over candle. This one was more of like a false break, but it still would have gotten you, you know, 10 cents. And for scalpers, that's great. So here it is again. Pop, pullback, candle over candle. This is more of a false break, but you can kind of see the trend here, and it's especially stronger the first time it happens. And this was just a really pretty 1 minute candle over candle setup out, you know, pop, pull back, candle over candle.
It's sort of right now, the last 5-minute candle is a bit of a topping tail doji, which carries a little bit more risk.
I'm up 860 here, almost double my goal.
Watching OPHT for 1 minute candle over candle.
RL, Ralph Lauren getting a pop here to the high, 145.94. Romeo Lima.
I'm in at 343.
Company out earlier with some
traders would go into
guidance.
350.
I'm out at 350.
I feel like it's going to do a false breakout.
So this next trade was JVA. This one hits my low float scanner right over here. Just starts blowing up my scanner. I flip to it real quickly, and I see that, you know, basically the low of the day, you know, is hovering around 440-ish, somewhere in there. And the bid and the ask was pretty big spread, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was 30 cents, and it was hovering around 470 on the ask. So what I liked about it is, first, the daily chart, long area of consolidation, just sideways moving. Then all of a sudden, for some reason, it was getting volume today. Not familiar with the stock, never traded it before. It did have 5 million shares outstanding, so smaller float. And it just was blowing up the scanners, which means if it's blowing up my scanners, it's blowing everybody else's scanners up. I jump in it, and I actually took 4,000 shares this time. I bought it. I hit 2 market orders, 462, 467. So pretty good fills. You can kind of see this is the volume candle right here where it hit everybody's scanners. So I'm in high day break and kind of see, you know, going for that high day break. I jump in. You know, if you want to do kind of like an opening range break down kind of happened here. It popped up, pulled back, and it broke that bottom part. But a lot of times, you know, if it doesn't flush out, if this is your opening range, you know, right here, here's your low, here's your high. A lot of times, if it doesn't break that bottom part and flush out, then when it curls back up and tests the top part of this opening range, it'll move. And it just so happened that two things worked. It broke high day, broke that opening range to the top side, and at the same time, it started blowing up people's scanners. So I jump in at 4,000 shares, pops up to $5, and I sell half just to lock in some profit. Sold half at 502, and the other half I just let play with. And I was watching the L2 pretty closely, and I was looking to see if it could hold 5, and it started to show trouble with 5. It did get over it to like 508 or 506 was on the bid side. I'm thinking, okay, it's holding it pretty good. Maybe we'll get to 520, 530, 540, 550, and really get some nice wins out of this one. And it just didn't do it. So as it was you'll watch it on the L2 here. You know, as it's over $5 and then the bid starts to come back down towards the $5, that's when I sell the rest, because I'm thinking to myself, it could flush out, and I just don't want to be in that for that. Locking my profit, I can always get back in if it looks good. So I sold the other half at 501 on the way back down. I'm long JVA 465.
Like a starter on JVA. Long JVA for a break of 5. I think this one, being that it's on the scans, probably
CRON Cronus Group dropping to a low of 741.
Out half 502.
This one we were watching off the scanners.
Out the rest, $5.
So JVA, moment of truth. Will it hold? Will it break 530?
So TNXP was my next trade. This one, again, I just had luck with playing a stock off my low float scanner with JVA. TNXP is the next one, hit my scanner. So I'm like, all right, let's give it a whirl. This one, the daily chart, it moved quite a bit yesterday, and now we're kind of breaking yesterday's highs at 420. So it had that going for it. as well as it's a name I'm familiar with. I've traded it before. I know it can move. It hasn't moved in a long time. I want to say, you know, maybe November was the last time it's really done a kind of a crazy move. It's been a while, but nonetheless, I have traded it before. And I'm familiar with it, so that's another reason why I jumped in it. I kind of hovered for a little bit, and when it showed that it was going to hold the move, and you'll see it when I run the clip, I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. It's breaking high a day. It was kind of hanging out at the 430 level, and it broke it and didn't sell off. So I was like, you know what, I'll take a shot on it. I know it's hitting my scanner, which means it's hitting everybody else's scanners. If it gets close to 450, you probably get the people buying the $0.50 for the $0.50 break, and maybe gets another spike, and I'll just sell on the other side of that. I did get in at 433. Volume did spike into this thing. Chat room's got a hold of it as well, and I sold at 477. It did actually go over $5, but I didn't wait for that. I was just looking for the break of the 50-cent mark, and then I was going to get out. So this was a nice win, you know, 44 cents on 2,000 shares.
That's almost double my goal, so time to slow down here.
Watching OPHT for 5 minute. TNXP, former runner, hitting the scanners.
NXP on the scans.
I'm long 433.
Pick a starter of TNXP for a scalp. Long.
I'm out 477. Wow.
TNXP. Watching to see if it breaks.
So this next play, we just played TNXP on the breakout off the scanners. And this next one here is TNXP again. And this is the pop, pull back on the 1 minute, and then candle over candle break right here. And you'll watch it. That's exactly what happens. You know, we played this pop. Now I'm just waiting for a pullback candle, which happened right here. Got the pullback. It didn't make a new high, right? In fact, it made a candle under candle, so definitely a pullback candle. And it could have been 2, 3, could have been 4 candles, but it was only one, and then it popped back up. Two things again here is, first off, the candle over candle. So right here, the break, we're inside this candle, is where I bought it. You can kind of see my entry right here at 486. And the reason why obviously the 1 minute candle over candle is 491, right? High of this candle is 491. Well, the reason why I bought at 486, or at least I was hitting my buy order, is because I saw volume coming in. And you'll see that when we switch to the L2 here, and you can see the live trade. But, I wanted to give myself a little bit of a head start because I thought that other people were going to play this. I want to hit that buy button because it could take a second for my order to get to, Wall Street. And that 1 second that it takes for that order to get there, the stock might have already moved. So if I waited for 491, I probably would have missed my entry. I pushed it a little early, ensuring that I get filled, and then sure enough, we get that pop. And all I'm trying to do here, scalp that $5 move again. I sell at 504, and I got in at 486. Nice win right there for sure.
So watch the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. High of the last 1 minute is 91. So break over 91. We want to see that.
I'm long 487.
There's 91. There you go.
Alright, well,
Sold on the
that's
ask
more.
501.
I'm out
Joe
504.
says Canada will defend industries hit by U.S. tariffs.
$5.
So this next trade is actually a short on TNXP. So a lot of times, we just got done playing this 1 minute candle over candle. It popped here, and it came really hard all the way back down, and that's just a very bearish sign. A lot of times you want to see continuation on this thing, and it moves back up, It didn't do that here. It actually, it's a false break. It popped up and then it sold off very hard. So when I see that, it being a bear sign, a lot of times I'll take the first 1 minute candle under candle, which would have been inside this candle and the break of right here. So the low of this candle right here is 465. I'm looking to go short right there, 465 for a push down. I nailed the trade. I actually got in a little lower, 460, and it dropped. It broke 450, which is what I was looking for. I tried to cover half my position, and right when I hit the cover button, the bid or the ask jumped all the way back to 460, and I got filled to 459. And after that, the bid started to come back up as people are dip buying, and I covered the rest for 456. You'll see it when I run the live clip. Kind of disappointing. I only made about 30-40 bucks on this trade, and it could have been a $300 trade had it just worked out a little bit better with my fills and me hitting the button on time. But it didn't work out. Regardless, the trade idea was sound. Just it moved too quick for me. Short of 460, putting a real type stop on this.
Francis McRone says a trade war won't spare anyone. First of all, it will hit American workers.
Oh my goodness, I covered 452 average here.
Covered half break even.
VKTX Viking Therapeutic shares dropping here 954.
Cover the rest for 56. So this next trade is on POLA. This one again, it just hits my scanner. I click over. I see that it hasn't moved too much from where it's been all morning. I go long at 664 and volume comes in, looking for a quick pop. This one I sold because with a stock like this, these parabolic moves, it's like throwing a ball up in the air. Once it releases from your hand, it's got a lot of momentum, a lot of velocity going straight up, and the higher it goes, it starts to slow down and slow down. And this one just felt like it was getting to that pinnacle and it was going to come back down. And as the momentum starts to slow down, I sell. I got in at 664. Inside the spike right here, 664. Just watching the L2 and watching when is this thing just going to start slowing down. And it just looked like around 670, 680, it ended up slowing down. I hit the sell button, and boy, was that a good decision, because 1 minute later, this thing just took a crap. That if it only pulls back on one,
Michelle,
and it goes candle over candle.
NDXG, my medics, Michael Delta X-ray Golf traders, circulating.
I'm long Pola, 64.
Northland thinks it's a 0. That's Michael Delta X-ray Golf.
I don't know. See what it does.
I'm out 673. Sorry, so I'm just playing everything that hits the scanners right now, because it's popping.
POLA polar.
All right, I'm short TNXP 444. Looking for a 440 flush. If it pops up, I'll just stop out. I'm not trying to hold and let this work against me.
India.
Covered half 438. Cover the rest, 434. And that's how I ended the first hour trading, up $3,247. And a very good day for sure. Everything I touched was green and 100% win rate. Can't argue with that. If you're interested in my trading style, please come into my free Discord chat room. If you're watching this on YouTube, just click the link in the description of this video. It'll take you right there. It's completely free, 100% free. I'm not trying to get money out of you. I am not. I'm trying to help you make money. So please come in there, ask questions. There are no dumb questions. All right? That the only way you get better, the only way I got better as a trader is by asking questions, by learning. You know, this is a hard job. You know, there's always a statistic going around that 90% of day traders lose their money. And I was part of that 90% when I first started. Took 2 years of losing before I became a winning day trader, and now I'm part of that 10%. And it could have been all avoided had I just spent the time to learn rather than try to trade right away. So anyway, we're here to help. Great staff. Love to help. They love to help. A lot of good people in here. So if you're interested in that, click the link. You'll be taken to the land of glory, which is our Discord chat room. If you're interested in any of the chat rooms that I personally subscribe to or the news sources that I use, all that stuff is also down in the description of this video. All right, I will see you in the next video.